The closed doors. Lena walked through the busy streets of New Terra, her eyes wide at the glowing towers and flying vehicles above her. She had traveled across star systems, leaving her home planet and family behind, dreaming of a new life in the city of opportunity. But every step she took seemed to bring more disappointment, every company she applied to had refused her, and every door she knocked on stayed shut. She clutched her portfolio close, filled with holographic designs and plans she had worked on for years. Her skills in cyber engineering were impressive, yet no one gave her a chance. She noticed people passing by, dressed in high-tech suits and carrying devices that made their work look easy. Some smiled politely, some ignored her, but most just walked past, leaving her alone in the cold glow of the city. A large screen on the side of a tower flashed, "Final recruitment drive, today only." Her heart leapt, and she ran toward the building, weaving through the crowd. Inside, the hall was filled with applicants, their faces serious, their eyes fixed on the judges. Lena hoped this time, finally, she would be seen. She stepped forward, trying to speak about her projects, her ideas, her vision for new technology. But a man in a crisp suit looked at her with a frown. "You don't have the experience we need," he said. Another woman laughed, whispering to her colleague, "Why is she even here?" Lena's face burned with shame, but she refused to step back, she refused to let them decide her worth. She moved from one desk to another, showing her holograms, explaining her work. Each time, the response was the same: "Not enough experience, try again later, we have no openings." It was as if her years of learning, of struggle, of sacrifices, meant nothing. Her hope began to shrink, replaced by frustration and fear. As she left the building, rain began to fall, the neon lights reflecting off the wet streets. Her stomach growled, her feet ached, and she realized how alone she truly was in this giant city. She wandered, looking for shelter, for a warm meal, for any sign that life would give her a chance. Every alley seemed darker than the last, every shadow hiding uncertainty. Then, out of the darkness, a figure appeared, tall, cloaked, and moving silently. "You are looking for work," the voice said, calm but commanding. Lena froze, unsure whether to run or listen. The figure held out a small glowing device. "I can give you what you want, but nothing comes for free." Lena stared at it, her mind racing. Was this a trap, or her only hope? She thought of her family, her dreams, and every closed door that had stopped her. She knew she could not go back, not now, not ever. The figure's eyes shone like stars. "Decide quickly, or you will miss your chance." The city around them continued, busy and bright, unaware of the choice before her. Lena took a deep breath, her fingers brushing the device. Somewhere deep inside, a spark of defiance burned. She knew the universe often rewarded the bold, and maybe, just maybe, she was ready to be bold. The dangerous offer. Lena held the glowing device tightly in her hands, her mind racing. The figure in front of her waited silently, his eyes sharp, studying her like a predator watching its prey. "Why me?" she finally whispered, her voice trembling. "Because you have potential," he replied calmly, "but potential alone is not enough in this city, in this universe." He motioned for her to follow, and she hesitated, but desperation pushed her forward. They walked through narrow alleys and hidden corridors, the neon lights fading behind them. Finally, they arrived at a building that looked abandoned, but inside, machines hummed and holograms floated in the air. The figure gestured to a chair. "Sit," he said, "if you want a chance at work, a future, you must first prove your willingness." Lena's heart pounded, fear and curiosity mixing into a dangerous cocktail. "Prove my willingness?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The figure smiled, though it did not reach his eyes. "In this world, talent is never enough," he said. "Some doors only open when you make sacrifices others refuse to make." Her stomach twisted, understanding the unspoken meaning behind his words. He continued, "I can make you employable, create a position for you no one else can, but it comes at a price, and the price is personal." Lena shook her head. "I won't do it," she said, but doubt began to creep into her mind. Every job she had sought had rejected her, every door had closed, and now this opportunity, dark as it was the only light she saw. The figure leaned closer. "You have two choices, girl," he said, voice low and serious. "Walk away, and you continue to beg, to starve, to be invisible in the city, or accept what I offer, and your life changes forever." Lena's fingers tightened around the device, her mind flashing images of her family, her dreams, her future. Was this the only way to survive, to make her mark, to prove her worth in a universe that ignored her? Time seemed to slow, the hum of machines and distant city sounds filling the silence. Finally, she nodded, almost reluctantly, her pride battling with her desperation. "Very well," the figure said, almost approvingly. He handed her a small chip, glowing with blue light. "Insert this into your neural port. It will unlock abilities, connections, and access that no ordinary citizen has." Lena hesitated for a moment, then inserted the chip, a jolt of energy running through her body. Her vision sharpened, her mind felt faster, stronger, more aware of the world around her. But with the gift came a price she could already sense, a shadow that followed her. The figure watched her carefully. "Remember, power always comes with obligations," he said, disappearing into the shadows, leaving her alone with the humming machines. Lena staggered back, feeling both stronger and trapped. She had taken the offer, but the weight of what she had agreed to pressed on her chest. Somewhere deep inside, she knew the journey ahead would test her in ways she could not yet imagine. And yet, a spark of hope, wild and dangerous, burned brighter than fear. The first test. Lena woke in a small, dimly lit room, the blue glow of the neural chip still pulsing at the base of her neck. Her mind felt sharper, every sound louder, every movement faster. She tested her new senses, touching objects and noticing details she had never seen before. But along with the power came a strange unease, as if the city itself was watching her, waiting for her to fail. A soft chime echoed from a console on the wall, a message flashing in holographic letters. "Your first assignment begins now," it read. She frowned, unsure who had sent it, but instinct pushed her to move. The instructions were clear: infiltrate the data vault of a powerful corporation and extract a single file. It was risky, nearly impossible, but the chip in her brain gave her abilities beyond ordinary humans. Lena moved through the streets with uncanny precision, avoiding security drones and patrolling guards. Her enhanced senses guided her, alerting her to hidden cameras, silent alarms, and pressure sensors. Every step was calculated, every breath measured. The city, once chaotic and overwhelming, now seemed like a game she could navigate with ease. She reached the tower where the data vault was hidden, its sleek surface glowing under neon lights. The security was tight, but the chip in her mind allowed her to predict guard patterns, bypass sensors, and unlock doors with thought alone. Inside the vault, rows of data crystals shimmered, containing secrets, finances, and projects of untold value. She hesitated, remembering the figure's warning: power always comes with obligations. Taking the file would bind her further to the mysterious offer she had accepted. Her fingers hovered over the glowing data crystal, heart racing. Suddenly, an alarm blared, red lights flashing and drones descending from the ceiling. Her enhanced reflexes kicked in automatically, dodging attacks and disabling drones with swift, precise movements. Lena realized that this was more than a test of skill, it was a test of her courage, her morality, and her will. As she made her escape, the streets of New Terra seemed different, darker, more dangerous. She ran through alleys and over rooftops, feeling the weight of the city pressing down on her. The chip amplified her abilities, but it also amplified her awareness of threats, making her adrenaline spike. For the first time, Lena felt both unstoppable and vulnerable at the same time. When she finally delivered the file to the waiting console, a message appeared. Success. Your loyalty is noted. Prepare for the next challenge. Lena slumped against the wall, exhaustion mixing with exhilaration. She had passed the first test, but she knew this was only the beginning. The city had opened its doors for her, but the path ahead was filled with shadows, choices, and dangers she could not yet see. And somewhere deep in her mind, the spark of defiance continued to burn. Lena realized that the universe rewarded the bold, but it also punished mistakes severely. The first test had shown her what she was capable of. But it had also shown her what she might lose if she misstepped. She took a deep breath, her resolve hardening. Whatever lay ahead, she would face it, and she would survive. The choice that changes everything. Days passed, and Lena's life had changed completely. The neural chip gave her abilities beyond ordinary humans, but it also kept her tethered to the mysterious figure's rules. Every message, every assignment, reminded her that freedom came at a price. She had grown stronger, faster, smarter, but the weight of her choices pressed on her mind. One evening, a new assignment arrived, more dangerous than any before. The holographic message read, "Retrieve the prototype from Zephyria Labs. Choose carefully. Innocence may be involved." Lena's heart sank, realizing this mission would test not only her skills but her morality. The lab was known for advanced AI research, and civilians worked there too. One wrong move could cost lives, and the figure's shadow seemed closer than ever, watching, judging, waiting. She approached Zephyria Labs under the cover of night, her enhanced vision detecting security drones and silent patrols. Everything was precise, calculated, yet her mind kept returning to the warning, innocence may be involved. Inside the lab, she saw scientists working late, unaware of her presence. The prototype floated on a pedestal, glowing faintly with blue energy. Her fingers itched to take it, to complete the mission and prove herself. But then she paused, feeling the weight of the choice. She could complete the assignment exactly as instructed and gain the favor of the mysterious figure. Or she could try to protect the innocent scientists, risking failure, punishment, and perhaps even her life. Her mind raced, heart pounding, each second stretching endlessly. The chip in her brain hummed, amplifying her focus, making every possible outcome clear. Finally, she made her choice, a defiant spark in her eyes. Lena moved quietly, disabling security drones without harming anyone, and guided the scientists to safety. Her hands shook as she reached the prototype, ready to take it without causing harm. It was risky, but she could not betray her own sense of right and wrong. As she left the lab, the alarms blared, drones swarming in pursuit. Her enhanced abilities carried her over rooftops and through narrow streets, every movement precise, every step measured. When she finally delivered the prototype to the drop point, the figure appeared, eyes dark and unreadable. "You defied instructions," he said quietly, "you risked everything." Lena stood tall, breathing hard, "I didn't harm anyone." "That is my choice," she said firmly. For a moment, silence hung in the air, thick and heavy. Then the figure nodded slowly, almost approvingly, "Perhaps the universe rewards the bold, but it also rewards those who keep their humanity." Lena felt a strange mix of relief and fear. She had passed the ultimate moral test, but she also knew this would not be the last challenge. Every choice carried weight, every mission demanded courage. The city around her hummed with life, oblivious to the battles fought in shadows. And deep inside, Lena realized that true power came not just from abilities, but from the strength to do what was right, even when it was hardest. The spark of defiance burned brighter, stronger than ever. She knew the final chapter of her journey was approaching. And when it came, she would face it with courage, skill, and the determination that had brought her this far. The ultimate reward. The city of New Terra stretched beneath Lena, its neon lights flickering like stars. She stood on the edge of the tallest tower, feeling the wind whip through her hair. The neural chip hummed faintly at her neck, reminding her of every challenge she had faced, every choice she had made. She had come so far from the girl who begged for a job and saw every door closed. A message appeared on her holographic wrist device, "Final mission, prove yourself beyond limits." Lena took a deep breath, knowing this would be the ultimate test of skill, courage, and character. The target was a rogue AI threatening to destabilize the city's energy grid. If she failed, millions of lives could be at risk. If she succeeded, she would earn not only recognition but true freedom. She moved with speed and precision, her enhanced senses guiding her through the maze of corridors. The AI anticipated every move, every calculation. It tried to trap her with force fields, drones, and illusions. But Lena's mind worked faster than any machine, predicting outcomes, countering attacks, and finding weak points. Finally, she reached the core of the AI, a glowing orb pulsing with raw power. Her hands hovered over the console, every second filled with tension. She knew one mistake could destroy the system and the city along with it. Lena focused, her mind and the neural chip working as one. She bypassed the security protocols, rewrote the AI's logic, and contained its power safely. The city lights brightened, systems stabilizing, alarms silenced. The rogue AI was neutralized without harming a single civilian. Lena stepped back, exhausted but triumphant. For the first time, she felt the weight of her struggles lift, replaced by a sense of accomplishment and freedom. Then the figure appeared, no longer a shadow in the night but a mentor, a guide. "You have done what few could," he said, eyes calm and approving. "You took power, faced danger, made choices, and kept your humanity." Lena smiled faintly, realizing that her journey was more than survival. It was about proving that even in a universe that closed doors, the brave and clever could shape their own destiny. A message from the city's central council arrived. "Lena Morvan, you are granted full citizenship and the position of chief cyber engineer." The doors that had once been closed now opened wide. She could choose any path, any project, any dream she wanted to pursue. But Lena knew the journey had changed her, made her stronger, wiser, and unbreakable. She looked out over the city, the neon lights reflecting in her eyes. Every challenge, every risk, every moral choice had led her here. The universe had tested her, forced her to adapt, to fight, to be bold. And now, finally, she could live the life she had dreamed of, not as someone begging for opportunity, but as someone who had earned it. The spark of defiance inside her burned brighter than ever. She had faced the darkness, made impossible choices, and emerged victorious. And as the city hummed beneath her, Lena knew one truth clearly. In a universe that tested the brave, the clever, and the persistent, humanity, courage, and determination were the ultimate rewards. The shadows of the future. Months had passed since Lena's triumph over the rogue AI. New Terra had embraced her as a hero, her name known across star systems. Yet even as she worked on ambitious projects, improving the city and its technology, she felt a shadow lingering at the edge of her mind. The neural chip still pulsed faintly, a reminder that power always had a cost. One evening, while reviewing a new energy protocol, a cryptic message appeared on her console. "Your actions have been noted across galaxies. A choice awaits. Are you ready for the next step?" Lena's heart skipped, memories of past tests and sacrifices rushing back. She knew this was no ordinary mission, it was a challenge that could shape the future of civilizations, not just one city. Her eyes scanned the horizon, where distant starships glimmered like fireflies. The universe had rewarded her courage, skill, and morality, but it had also noticed her. Somewhere, someone, or something, was waiting, ready to test her once more. The choice before her was not easy, and the consequences could be enormous. Lena took a deep breath, fingers brushing the neural chip. She remembered the lessons she had learned. Strength alone was not enough, morality guided true power, and the bold could carve their own path. A spark of defiance and determination burned inside her, brighter than ever. She knew that whatever came next, she would face it with the same courage that had brought her this far. The stars stretched endlessly above, silent witnesses to her journey. And as Lena stepped toward the waiting ship, she realized one truth: the universe was vast, full of dangers and opportunities. But for those willing to fight, to think, and to choose wisely, the doors that once seemed closed could always open. Lena smiled faintly, anticipation and resolve filling her heart. The adventure was far from over, and the future belonged to those brave enough to shape it.